We're fine. We're good. It's good. It's a ZvP. And in the bottom right is the red Protoss. He is ShoWTimE. Oh, shit.
And his opponent, he's blue. He's Zerg. It is Serral! Oh, that was not worth doing. Oh, fuck, that was not worth doing.
It wasn't worth doing on many levels.
Yeah. Hey, you know what's kind of cool?
What's that?
So it's game 1 of the best of 5. Score is 0-0, right?
Uh-huh.
You know what else is 0?
What's that?
The amount of ads you'll get when you subscribe to BaseTradeTV. Download your subscription today in the inbox down below.
And free RAM?
Free RAM with every purchase.
Nice.
Monthly installments of $4.99.
Nice. Hey.
No, but I know there's some trolling in chat. For those who don't know, and I guess to be perfectly clear, excuse me, to be perfectly clear and separate trolling from fact, if you subscribe to BaseTradeTV, you do not get rid of ads. There are some channels out there that will remove ads for their subscribers, and good for them. We unfortunately rely on ad revenue in a pretty big way because we don't get crazy Summit 1G donations. So the only way you'll get rid of ads is with a Twitch Prime sub. Or, I guess, if you're using ad block. I hope at some point, though, our content ends up being worthwhile. I know these last 3 days are not exemplary, amazing examples of quality content on BaseTradeTV. That's more on us just being exhausted, but I think the way I look at it is I really don't mind people who ad block. And I've said it before, there are some internet sites out there, you need to ad block. Like, news sites are the worst. They're like, people are ad blocking us, we better throw on more ads and fuck over the people who don't ad block us, which in turn makes them ad block, right? But I would hope over time we can earn your trust, and you guys can clearly see we don't run ads over games and stuff like that.
Yeah. Try real hard not to. We're pretty tired. My voice is pretty sore. And we're 6 hours into this cast. Not nearly as long as the other days. But this is the third to last series, I believe. What? No, fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, fourth. So, still a ways to go.
Four, 3, 2, 1. Care Bear Countdown.
Is that a thing? I never watched the Care Bears.
Who's that coming way up high in the sky?
What? What?
The Care Bear stare was a really influential part of my life growing up.
I only know that term from Ultimate Song of Ultimate Destiny or whatever.
Oh man, you weren't here for it. We were all having like a big nostalgia trip on Newgrounds yesterday.
Oh yeah?
Talking about all the old artists and stuff you'd watch back in the day, right? Like all the old cartoons, Weeble and Bob and shit like that. That's
Yeah.
the classic Badger, 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 Mushroom, Mushroom.
I watched some of those things, but not as many.
I dug up my old Newgrounds account, started linking it. Lol. I used to animate some stuff back in the day. It was good times.
Cool stuff.
But actually, I do wish, in all sincerity, I had a little bit more stamina in me, guys, because we actually have like two of the best foreigners, top of the ladder, best Zerg, best Protoss Europe has to offer, and I think I give a bit of an edge to ShoWTimE with this one because he's had some pretty good PVZs throughout the tournament so far.
Yeah.
But Serral's very good. Like unlike Lambo, who when I sell this, no one else believes me. I think people know Serral's good. I don't actually need to upsell him.
Maybe for some people, because he is still a relatively new name as far as like approaching amazing status. Because he hasn't won anything yet. He's had a good showing, and a better showing, and then a better showing, and then a better showing, but it's not quite winning everything. So people might still be a little out of the loop. But he's very good. I'm sure ShoWTimE's taking this quite seriously. Oracle's take out a queen. Take out another one. She needs help. She needs a buddy. No. Oh, well, a little bit too late. Another 2 queens come down, but that was still worth. Saves 2 oracles, kills 2 queens. There's a robo behind this and getting a void ray and a warp prism. Gets a 3rd base all set up and ready to go, and Serral can't do much about that. Serral's getting +1, and I'm almost fairly certain we'll see Ling Hydra around this 3rd base. Oracle swoop in once again, get a couple of drones. Warp Prism goes to the north. Might just be able to get a couple drones at the 3rd base, too. Serral's a Spore Crawler, but not much else. Lair's almost done. That's when we'll see that Hydralist ends. Or ShoWTimE goes straight up to the charge. Probably really quick Temple Archives after that. And that's the way he's been playing.
I mean, Zealots have had a really cool spot in the matchup, but I'm really curious, and this is where I wish I had gotten to talk with more of the Protoss players at DreamHack Austin. Was it the Adept health taking a hit that made Zealots more appealing, or was it the Hydra buff making Hydras more like prevalent that made Zealots more required to deal with them? Because Charge Lots have always been good against Hydras, even with their 10 health buff.
Yeah. I mean, Ling Hydra was a style people have been playing since maybe even Wings of Liberty? I don't know about that, but definitely in Heart of the Swarm, because remember that it was Ling Hydra into a lot of the times Muta transfers. Muta swaps. That's the way that Jaedong played. That's why I remember it. But yeah, it definitely has come back. I mean, Roach Ravager obviously was the thing to do, is I guess the point to introduce the Ravager, and it has been pretty strong, and it is still pretty strong as an attack, but Ling Hydra has really come back since the nerf and buff. Torgal's still alive. Observer's still with him too. They can easily clean up creep. Warp Prism's still alive to maybe draw the army back should he need it. And Charge finishes up as Storm is on the way. Just setting up for that mid game. Oh.
Well, the Gweens are setting down the tumors. I forgot I was going to try and make that a thing till just now.
Oh, the Gweens. The Gweens. The Gweens. Oh, +2 is on the way. +1 air weapons as well. That's awfully quick. I mean, if 4th base is already on the way, he's getting a wall instead of dripping on the rocks because those will be broken down anyways again. Oh, man. I think I have a canker sore on my cheek. I bit it like a week ago, but then it healed. But now it's bothering me again.
So, Warp Prism attack going in the main of Serral. So he's pushed off by the Hydras. Also, I'm sorry to hear that because I just finished dealing with some myself a few weeks ago, and those are not fun because they take so long to heal. Like, oh, this is kind of cool. He's got a gateway wall off, a cannon behind it. Charge a lot should usually deal with these lings if they break the wall. He could knock down the cooling tower too if we want to just beef up that wall a bit.
Well, that is a lot of Banelings, Slings, and Hydras. Serral's got about 20 army supply lead, but he's hitting just as +2 finishes. There's a lot of storms already available, and I'm not sure Serral's going to be able to brute force this. He's going to try. He's got gateways and force fields to get through, and about 7 storms.
Yeah, I like the Templar brought back to the back line so he doesn't have them accidentally picked off early on.
Good storms.
That is some nice storm action, though. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. Well, I take that back. The Immortals, I think, are going to end up
There's
being what
still-
wins this game, ultimately.
So many storms. So, like, yeah, Immortals would have been fine anyways. Whoops-a-daisy. You can do that.
What just happened to the camera there?
I clicked 1, so it's on, like, Serral's camera, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, on my side, it freaked out super hardcore. I guess I was trying to catch up to yours.
Yeah. Zealots get choked in at the 3rd base, so not too much down there. 4th base taken. A little bit of unorthodox spot, but the 5th base is more regular. And ShoWTimE has held, so, you know, Serral has to think about other things to do, and I'm not sure he's in a good enough position to try and get to Hive Tech, which is the only option outside of just praying that the storms mess up eventually.
Well, it's not even that he just held. He, like, dominated that hold. We got Adept Warpins once again in the main. Hive just trying to push this back. I like the charge lots, actually. I think are a lot better to bring in with this. And, you know, the other thing about Zealots that make them so much better for these harass moves isn't just that they're strong and they get, like, charge and all that. It's mineral-based units. You're not actually... With a Warp Prism and Zealots only, you spend 0 gas to get so much damage done. No other race can do that.
Almost gets us surrounds, but there's still so many storms. He's trying his best to micro the banelings so the storms are either wasted or maybe the high tempos go too far forward and run into them, but... Main base still under attack a little bit. I just can't take care of it. They do have their upgrade. Yeah, they do. Hive and Greater Spire. In mind, at least. They get a Stone Spider for the 34-month resub.
That guy's always high all the time.
All the time.
Oh, I love these stasis traps coming for the backside. You know units are going to go sideways. Serral sees that, though, and he eats it, so he's not going to have to worry about getting caught in it later. Really smart moves.
Well, Zealots got into that 5th base. There wasn't too much to kill, but 9 drones go down. Other drones over here had to be pulled away.
Zealots? In my hatchery?
Yep, believe it or not. They also had Diego Toss resub for 2 months. Much appreciated.
Is that Kelazur's Scarlet ult?
Yeah, right? Oh, second stasis trap. Okay, I barely even caught the first one as it speared.
This was pretty sick. Unfortunately, though, it works counterintuitive to his overcharges. Those will run out before the stasis trap ends. So he might not actually be able to kill the Banelings like he normally would have been able to, but at least he can know to pull the probes away. Warp Prisms denied, but there were 2 Warp Prisms in play for a bit. Unfortunately, looks like, yeah, they're both still alive.
Yeah, they are.
Banelings
One on the top,
ended up
one on the bottom.
connecting, so I think that stasis trap ended up hurting a lot more than helping.
Yeah.
That would have killed, like, the overcharges of the cannons would have killed so many Banelings otherwise.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. They get a Rick and Harp for the Twitch Prime sub. Big old Protoss army. Mortals and Archons and Storms. I mean, the Storms don't even necessarily protect the Archons and the Banelings. There's just so many flipping Archons. And now he's out of Storms, but there's enough army left over to deal with whatever Hydra Serral has left. Serral, I think he's run out of steam. Banelings colliding once again into Archons. Doesn't work out so well.
GG.
GG indeed. ShoWTimE takes game number 1. Oh, he's gonna kind of break. Just so you don't have to stare at me. Ugh. Welcome back. It is game number 2. We're getting into Abyssal Reef. ShoWTimE is up 1-0.
We were talking about it during the break, guys. Look, I feel really bad about it. Maybe we'll grab the replays on another day and finish it, but after this best of 5 is done, we're gonna close up stream for the day. I'm actually physically hurting from this. Being sick sucks, and like the worst part is I feel like we're letting you guys down a lot, and this just isn't enjoyable for us simultaneously. So I think it's just gonna be best for everybody if we cut it short after this series is done.
Yeah, you'll still have an English cast as Wardy is still going, as well as all the foreign language casters, unless they also tap out, which might happen. But yeah, that is
Wardy's probably feeling about as good as we are right now. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, probably. There's definitely 3 more series after this, and they could all go pretty long. This one could go pretty long. In the top left is the red Protoss. It is ShoWTimE up 1-0.
And is upon the bottom right, going to be the best Zerg in Europe. Well, one of the. It's Serral. There's so many best Zergs in Europe right now, man.
Yeah, it's hard to say that. So ShoWTimE might be up 1-0, and that was a pretty convincing game, to be honest. I mean, he very smoothly got to mid-game Protoss army.
He had Storms, he had Immortals, he had everything a Protoss player wishes they had.
Yeah, and he had a good amount of it, too. So it wasn't even a case of, like, Serral really being able to overwhelm him. I looked at that first attack, and I was like, this doesn't look like it's a big enough Hydra army. You know, if Serral's up 40 army supply, then I'm like, wow, this could really work, even up against 7 Storms. But without that, no.
One of the things I really liked about Serral that game, though, or excuse me, ShoWTimE, though, the double warp prism. Really liked the double warp prism a lot.
Yeah. Well, ShoWTimE had a couple of things going for him. It's not just a double warp prism, so one could always be the reinforcement warp prism. But he also had 2 oracles constantly dealing damage and scouting. Adepts constantly being unloaded from said warp prism, as well as a couple of charge out run bys. I mean, he was doing good work to let himself get up to 3 bases pretty safely, and even to a 4th. But Serral also just felt like he ran out of time a little too quickly. The thing is, if ShoWTimE tries to get to fast charge and fast storm, there are some weaknesses. You know, you don't have a lot of buffer if you do that, but Serral just felt like it was a bit too late. He had plenty of units to work with. So, thank you to S7CC7R, the Twitch Prime sub. Apparently Amazon Prime covers a free sub, and I love base trade. Yes, it does. If none of you remember that or know that, then if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, and you can give 1 free sub a month.
Yeah, I guess the better explanation of that too is there's a website set up for it specifically, twitchprime.com. It shows you how to link your account, and even if you don't use your sub on us, okay, that's a terrible wall. Even if you don't use your sub on us, you should still use it every month on anybody. It's a free subscription. You'll get a bunch of cool benefits for subscribing to various channels, but most importantly, the broadcasters actually get money as if you sub for real, which is awesome. So it's like a free handout, which is great.
Yeah. You have to connect the account, but other than...
The other thing, too, though, is the Twitch Prime sub. This is something a lot of people don't know, and I love talking about this point, is not only do you not get ads as a Twitch Prime user, you still give ad impressions. And if you don't know what that means, we basically get money as if you did see an ad, even though you did not.
Yeah. It's a really nice. You actually get some other free stuff for it. So all you need to do is link it, and then it's going to pop every time you like go around a sub button, like, hey, it's not time yet, or yeah, it's time. Thank you to Herbsen Kopf for the Twitch Prime sub, and Pixel4E for the Twitch Prime sub, too. Adepts come forward. They're going to take out a couple of creeps. Just one. No, not even one. Ow. Well, Oracle's following this up once again. And Serral is just macroing Evolution Chamber, no doubt, for the +1 that he usually gets.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just to clarify too, guys. It wasn't meant to be a depressing message. It just sounds depressing because it's coming from me, because I am dying. I've been sick all week. We tried our best to try and compensate by splitting the cast half and half, and this final day is taking its toll. Every time I talk, it just hurts.
I'd maybe feel a little bit better if it wasn't for the fact that we immediately came back from DreamHack Austin, went into straight into casting. Well, you went straight being sick, but straight into casting. And then we still have casting to do this week. Like, we don't get a break tomorrow. It's the same time in the morning. Do we?
We kind of get a break. I mean, it's like it's going to be the rest of today, then nothing, and then Alima League, right?
Oh, on the schedule it said we had something tomorrow. Well, that makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, we get a day off.
Yeah. And it's in the Alima League and all that stuff.
Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm fucking so grateful we have subs and people are willing to cheer and support our channel and support us for what we do. But sometimes just you gotta know when you gotta take a break.
Yeah. So you're either gonna complain about the lack of energy or you're gonna complain about us quitting early. So if you're complaining, then just fuck off.
Okay. I've seen this like 100 times hit the mineral lines. We've never actually seen it hit like an egg morphing. So that stalls those out too. That's so annoying.
That is.
That's like 4 drones just perpetually in production.
I guess the stage trap usually isn't that close to it, so it's pretty unique. Third base is now finished. Twilight Council and Forge on the way. Good probe count. 2 oracles once again. They did a decent job last game of getting drones, revelations, stasis traps, and even clearing up some creep spread with the help of an observer. It was pretty good. Oh. So, Serral, as his lair finishes up, probably going to go to Hydras again. I really feel like he was just a little bit late, like 30 seconds late or something like that. If he had been maxed a little bit earlier or attacked a little bit earlier, then it's a little more suspicious. But last game, it really was just ShoWTimE prepared. Sentries and force fields right up against the gateways, and gateways providing the Sim City, and he made it look like an easy defense. Warprism once again doing some decent damage. 4 drones, picks up and leaves. Serral's going to try and do a Ling attack, though, in third base with our sentries. ShoWTimE! Photon overcharges first. Doesn't force field, so he loses all 3. And most of the Lings survive. That's a really good run by. Now SimCity on the way. Serral gets a 4th base. Charge, +1, Templar Archives. Everything you would usually expect. It's looking very similar to last game, in fact. So I think the only thing that Serral could really do is attack a little bit earlier. Hope to catch ShoWTimE a little bit more off guard. I mean, certainly getting 3 sentries is quite nice.
Let's pick off Queen and a couple more drones, which is cool too. It's been very active on the side of the map. That War Prism's just waiting for the opportunity to go in.
Yeah, 2 more drones and a queen, I guess. Warp Prism, Void Ray. But Ling's on the 4th base. I was saying, like, getting those 3 sentries was pretty important. I mean, that's 300 gas you invest because you need sentries, and it also means maybe they don't have as much energy when push comes to shove. It's going to be around this 4th base almost for sure. Void Ray, I can't believe it was already been taken care of. Cancel the Spore, looks like. Serral is just trying to macro the best visibility while being harassed. It really is just harassment. Second Robo now on the way, and Storm just about done.
Hydra's out of Serral. Actually, I forgot we had referenced this earlier because Serral had played quite a few games in the TaKeTV tournament already that we got to cast, and in most of them it was all Hydra Ling Banling. And most notably, this was against Neeb, where he did win 3-2. And I feel like if you've got it in you to beat Neeb, you've got it in you to beat ShoWTimE.
Yeah, for sure.
And before I'm misremembering it, it's the wrong player combo, but I'm pretty sure it was Serral versus Neeb in the groups yesterday.
It sounds familiar. It looks familiar. A lot of Ling Hydra games, so I'm gonna say that was. They get a Rude Boy E for the Twitch Prime sub.
Rude Boy.
Rude Boy E. Hydras are gonna take care of this Warp Prism.
Ooh, that's nasty.
Yeah. Careful not to let the Banelings explode on those rocks. And Serral is getting prepped and ready to attack. There are sentries with a lot of force field energy. Not as many High Templars as last time, but, you know, pretty damn close. I think it's like 5 or 6. 6. Stasis Trap is triggered by like a single Ling there, so not very useful at all. Banelings are going to try and get on top of those sentries or High Templars without being stormed first.
Great force fields. Great force fields.
A bit of a Zealot run by. Serral doesn't have a lot to defend against this, just a single queen. A lot of drones are here, and he has to pull entirely back to do this, so he does not really do anything to the 4th base. Doesn't even really threaten ShoWTimE, it feels. ShoWTimE already on the way to Fleet Beacon and second Stargate, maybe thinking that Serral is going to try and advance quicker to Broodlords, but we know that isn't the case. It's around the same time, around that attack happening, that he gets the Infestation Pit, so a long time yet to Broodlords.
Well, carriers are still always going to be very favorable for Protoss to go for. Golden Armada style and all that.
But they can't get it.
Storm's looking hit on both sides. Force fields lock out one of the Immortals. Oh, the Archon breaks his force fields, letting the Banelings in.
That's a lot of chaos. I was just about to say that the Protoss players be careful about when they go into Tempest, just like the Zergers be careful when they go into Broodlords. That's a lot of investment. So Usually it's when they're at a high point of the game, where they just defended an attack or just did a bit of damage or just pulled the army, something along those lines. And ShoWTimE did pull the army back, but he didn't really kill a lot of it. You know, Serral didn't really commit. So to go out like that and then have some micro gaffes, like that was a lot of lost army supply. He doesn't kill ShoWTimE, as he still has only 30 army supply less than Serral, but it means that his transition to Tempest needs to be halted, whereas Serral is still on his way to a Greater Spire. Safety Traps gets a bit better this time. Quite a few Lings. A couple more Force Fields available, a single Archon, but a lot of Storms. A third Robo is on the way. Interesting. Army supplies even up once again. Banelings crash into Storms and an Archon are mostly gone, but now looking for the hits on the sentries. He pulls back the High Templars. They can't really help against individual Lings that are wrapping around the Immortals, but they're going to try and get the best shots possible on the Hydras. Zealots once again trying to get something done, trying to pull back the army. It's dangerous to do this. If they're on the defensive, that might have been just enough, but on the offensive, maybe that pulls Serral back. And in fact, it does. Much needed breath for ShoWTimE here. Managed to save High Templars and Immortals. It's not too shabby. It's all cleaned up now, though. Serral is about to start his transition to Greater Spire.
My mic's still robot-y.
It goes in and out. It's not now.
Just adds to all the things going wrong today, plus my throat dying.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been smoking several packs of cigarettes.
There's a lot of things going wrong. Second War Prism has been remade and is going to try and do some significant damage. I think for the most part he's been setting Zealots around the map. I might be mistaken. But now going directly into the main is going to scout the Spire. He should just go straight forward, I think, and just all halt it, because otherwise he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Unfortunately, on top of a Spore Crawler, can't warp in again, and he might have needed that warp in to actually kill it. +3 isn't quite done. The Zealots are getting taken care of. Transfuse goes into it, and that is an unsuccessful snipe on the Greater Spire. Now he has to deal with it with his own Tempest, which he does start. Actually, they're popping out right now. But, you know, if he hadn't taken that bad engagement around here a couple minutes ago, he would have already been up to a decent number of Tempests and probably maxed out. Whereas now it's a little bit more suspicious. Big Ling wraparound. Doesn't go for the Nexus. Instead tries to get on top of the Immortals and the Lings with the Archons, the Immortals. Do what they do best. Just buying a lot of time.
Trouble.
Well, maybe. I mean, he still has his Immortals and his High Templars. The fourth base is attacked, though. 22 Banelings. That's kind of brutal. 47 probes, not the worst, and 4, almost 5 Nexus worth of probe production. I think we'll easily make up for that. I don't know about this push, though. He's out of Force Fields. He's out of Archons. He doesn't have a War Prism with this. This feels very dangerous and almost desperate, but I guess he's thinking I just took out a large number of Serral's army. He must be hurting as much as I am, and he's not wrong. He actually has 20 army supply lead, but it just looks so vulnerable to surround. Another stasis trap popped. Doesn't quite save the Archon or the High Templar. Saved it. Serral's getting onto his 6th base now. He's getting Infestors. He's really held off on using that Greater Spire despite getting a 2nd Spire. It's one thing to get a Greater Spire and then not use it, but usually when you get 2 Spires, you're really looking to emphasize the Broodlords, but he's not bothering with it at all yet. Just figuring the Tempests have already beaten him, I suppose. And he's getting Neural Parasite instead. It's the order of things that is bizarre, not the actual units or upgrades. Those are 3 attack-ling upgrades with Adrenal Glands. No Carapace, but still, they're going to tear down buildings really quickly. Looks like drones of the 5th, 6th, can't count. Well, did get slaughtered, and the base might go down.
Zealots are pretty good. +3 weapons, that you're going to chew through anything they get their hands on. So whether it's a hatchery or whether it's some Hydras, Serral's got to be careful.
Doesn't really look worth it. There we go. I think that's where he meant to go. Chasing down the probes. Just try and split them. Okay, yeah, that works too. So not too many probes are going to go down, or any at all, whereas drones, more drones are going down. A lot more drones get stacked up. A lot of different angles, so the storms have to be plentiful. They do entirely take out the army to the left side. Archons are stuck in a fungal? Was that, I think that was what it was. To the right side, so they do die. 49 probes to 57 drones. 5 bases to 5. But ShoWTimE having a lot more army supply.
Yeah, almost double the army supply is going to be hard to overcome. I mean, kudos to Serral. He's on Hive Tech, right? Like, this isn't a game where he got caught up on layer and can't play.
Yeah. It's that, I mean, the thing is that his Hive Tech is kind of already countered just by, not just by the Protoss Fleet Beacon tech, which is strong, and the High Templars, of course, too, but more just because of his economy and his lack of army. Like, if he also had the equal supply of Broodlords, Infestors, Hydras, and Banelings, like, I'd say, like, okay, that's positioning, that's catching ShoWTimE off guard, that's maybe a couple really cool narrow parasites, and he can make it work, but even though he has the Hive, he doesn't have a tech lead, and he doesn't have an army supply. So, combined together, and it makes for a bad game. Bad.
Bad to the bone.
Sure.
Right?
I was going for more like
Wow.
a sheep, but, you know, the song is cool, too.
A sheep?
Yeah. Bad. Bah.
Ba, ba, black sheep, have you any wool?
Yeah.
Alright, I can dig it.
Thanks. Well, Serral's still trying to hold on. He's got a lot of energy-based units, a couple of queens, too, along with those infestors, a couple of spore crawlers, but I don't think he has a good enough army. Neural parasites are all going to come down. Not fungals first. Revelation has tagged a lot of the infestors, but not all of them.
You know, these Tempests should kind of... Oh, that's cool. He gets an Archon there. I was going to say, the Tempests, though, with their range, should always be able to zone out anything Serral has planned. So as long as ShoWTimE's paying attention, he's got those Revelations tagged, and he sees, most importantly, the Infestors, there's really no reason he shouldn't be able to take a good fight.
Yeah.
There's so many Infestors, and as we saw, Neural Parasite's something he's very willing to use.
Revelation is missing off a lot of these infestors, but there are observers now on the front lines. There we go. Revealed, but it's not like Serral can kill him. He has to run away from the High Templars and the Archons. Got nothing else much going for him. Maybe a couple of these Lings go for an attack on this base that is building. But Serral's really drawing it out. Keeping the High Templars way back there. A little vulnerable. Lings don't attack the brand new base. They attack the established base. There's a couple different Archons, or, I don't even remember what I was going to say. The point is the Archons, I could hear them from across the map are being assimilated.
I know, the assimilation successful thing.
Yeah. It looks like Serral is going to tear down that 4th base, but, you know, ShoWTimE has a 5th and a 6th. He's taking on a lot of the Infestors. The Infestors are using a lot of their energy without killing enough. Economy is looking bad for both players, but ShoWTimE is the one that's killing bases as well as drones. Once again, narrow parasiting. Since the Infestors won't die, it looks like the observers. Oh, they were brought a little too far to the left side. He needs to either have Revelation or the observer so he can actually kill these damn things. There we go. Lings do get into that 6th that I was talking about. And they have Burrow. They are fully upgraded on the attack, so if they get into a mineral line, it's instantly gone. Serral is down to no mining bases, and that's, I guess, is going to trigger the GG. Game number 2 going in ShoWTimE's favor. That's going to send us into game number 3.
ShoWTimE doing very well today.
Yeah, as expected. But that's, I mean, a break for us. It could be the last game of our cast, but the last game of the series. Game number 3. Get to you as soon as the lobby's ready. Welcome back. It could be the last game. We're in Proxima Station in the bottom left, up 2-0. It is the Red Protoss ShoWTimE.
And his opponent, struggling for some extra life here. It's Serral.
Mm-hmm. It is the loser's bracket, so whoever loses here is truly out. It's been a long 3 days. I'm not sure where the money enters into play. I didn't actually look at that.
I know at least top 4 get paid, but there's like 4,000 something dollars in the line, so I think it goes down to 8.
Hmm. Okay. I apparently closed the tab with the bracket, so I cannot confirm or deny. I'm gonna assume yes.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I know. Neve versus Gumiho waits in the winners finals, which I think is gonna be played after this.
I wish I had the energy for it. That's like a rematch of a rematch of a rematch.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And most importantly, the Ting Grand Finals.
Yeah. The loser of that will go on to face the winner of this, and then the winner of that will be in the actual grand finals. And apparently they do have a one-up rule, so whoever is in the winners gets one game automatically on their score.
1 point, yeah.
Yeah. So it's usually either that or like double best of 5s, but
Surprised it's not double best of 5s.
yeah, right? No, it's gonna be best of 7. So that's 3 more series at least you'll be able to watch on Pleasant Wardy's channel. Good guy, Wardy.
Before Wardy's like playing to tap out and host us. It'd be so awkward.
You'll be able to watch it in the German stream or a Korean one. Learn a new language. It's good for your health. Yeah. That sucks. There are some really good matches left over. Emergency Zealot is gonna finish. Does it shrug and then take out its side blades? Or was I just imagining things? I thought it just popped out with its side blades, but it didn't look like that. Well, whatever. Pro being chased, 3 bases for Serral. ShoWTimE, I think, confirmed it. Yeah, he did. Overlord, of course, is going to be coming in later. Stargate, pretty quickly on the way. And Stalker might be to kill any of the pesky Overlords to try and get in. Things exactly what he's going to do. ShoWTimE not exactly too crazy about the super fast mass late game, mass air type of play style, so I wouldn't expect this to be hiding anything too sneaky, but it could. Speed is about to finish, but he really wants that Overlord. He wants to micro against the Lings. He's gonna get the Overlord. Can he micro? They're Speedlings now.
By the way, I was trying to find the Wikipedia page, and yeah, 175 for 7th and 8th place.
Oh, okay.
300 for 5th and 6th, so it's TLO here, Marine, Blind, sort of, in that order. And then 400, 500, 900, and 1600 for 1st.
Cool beans. It's already in the money.
Money, money, money.
Yeah. Stalker was taken out by the Lings despite ShoWTimE's pretty cool micro. If speed was 10 seconds later, then I think it's totally, absolutely fine. And was it worth killing the Overlord? I mean, the way that he was going after it might have just really been because he didn't think speed was going to finish up in time, but it also just made it look like he was desperate to kill it so it wouldn't scout. But usually if there's a Stargate, there isn't too much of anything tricky you can do behind that Stargate. I mean, I like bringing it up because it was a cool build, cool sneaky build, but you could have done like a Phoenix build into an all-in, and they would assume, you know, the wrong thing, but that doesn't exist in Legacy of the Void, so it is almost always going to be a third base, Robo, Twilight Council, all that jazz behind it. And killing the Overlord, well, oh, there's a second one anyways, so it's going to see that and confirm it. Confirm the Robo. Oracle doesn't get too much done. In fact, gets a lot of damage taken on it, and kills 2 drones. This Oracle might be able to help it do a little bit more. They've killed Queens, they've killed Creep Tumors. These 2 Oracles have been best buds for the last 3 games. And done quite a good job taking care of them. Yeah. Oh, they're gonna go for it. They're gonna go for it.
Of course, that one's going to be microed back. Really nicely done by ShoWTimE.
Yeah, it was. Without that 3rd Queen, both Queens would have died, but the 3rd one on the low ground was kind of a cool, neat little addition. +1 melee's on the way. Serral is going for the exact same thing he's gone for every single game. Close enough to it. Hopefully I find taken care of by a Void Ray. War Prism is on the way out again as well, and it really is similar builds. The Adepts even just threatening at the front and then saying, okay, never mind, we're gonna go back home.
Oh, he's gonna try to open it with rocks, and I'm guessing Serral wants to head towards that gold. If he wants to get away with it, that's okay and cool, but he's taking so much harass, it just feels like a bad position for a base, whereas the bottom right might be a lot more easy to cover.
Well, I guess
it does get one of the oracles.
Yeah, no longer best buddies. In the last 2 games, it really has been more of Serral just dealing with harassment and then being the one to pressure the bases. ShoWTimE hasn't really threatened killing bases or starting the tug of war. He's always been the one defending first, which is kind of what PvZ has come down to. So, I don't really mind this base at all. And I'll probably take this one eventually. Just when he starts getting a big bank. Templar Archives on the way, charge as well. This really is the same thing 3 times in a row. And I would say, like, you know, for ShoWTimE, if it works, don't fix it and all that stuff. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess is the saying.
Let's see, if it works, don't fix it.
I mean, it's not wrong. It's not like I'm just like, I said completely opposite.
No, but this is like Wild Zoo.
It's not, though. That's not the same.
No, I just feel like it's so close.
Well, that's the thing, is that
wrong.
Wild Zoo sounds a lot like Wazoo, but obviously, if it works, don't fix it. It doesn't sound anything like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's no similarity in the sound, just in the intent. Whatever. But that only applies to ShoWTimE, because Serral is obviously down 2-0, and he's doing almost the exact same thing. Here, we finally have a change-up. He's always tried and attacked with the Hydralisk. You know, in the first game, he committed pretty hard with it and then lost the army. Didn't really have much going on beyond that. In the second game, he didn't commit so much and even got like a really good attack when ShoWTimE felt a little too confident and messed up his micro. But still, ultimately ended up losing. This game, he's going to try and skyrocket up to the Broodlords and beat ShoWTimE to the punch in a very big way. Catches the War Prism too. Nicely done. The Oracle has not seen the Spire or the Hive. Has even seen the Infestation Pit. Infestation. Okay, where is it? Where are you at? Damn it!
By the way, I was
there it
just
is.
checking on TakeStream, seeing what their happy donations. Looks like they're at almost about 14K, which is cool. Because, yeah, for those who don't know, fundraising for Homestory Cup, all that good stuff. If you want to see Homestory Cup happen, consider helping them out on their channel.
Yeah, go to TaKeTV's channel and donate, and it'll go to the fund for Homestory Cup. Good to hear that they're so far up from where it started 3 days ago.
Yeah, they were like very not much raised.
Yeah. Creepspread doing very well for Serral, but if he's gonna lose his army, then what does it matter? It's more like this is just a forewarning and a bit of a threat. Like, don't get on here, ShoWTimE, or I'm gonna kill you. But ShoWTimE is in no hurry to attack. Again, he doesn't know about the Hive or the Greater Spire, so he's just doing what he normally does, you know, get to 4 bases, wait for the attack, defend it, and then counter. But that's not going to be exactly right this game. I mean, he could eventually just feel like, wait a second, where are the Hydras, where are the Banelings, what's going on here? I guess he finds the Hydras, but not a lot of Banelings, and be like, okay, think it through. But if he's really caught up in what the last 2 games have looked like, then he might just be completely blindsided by, you know, 6 to 8 Broodlords. And he doesn't have Blink, so he has really no way of dealing with it, even to like the very basics, unless the Archons happen to get under there. And he'll just have to retreat and probably lose a lot in that retreat. Hussein Phoenix is finally going to be able to see at least the Infestation Pit as it goes to the main base, but the Hive is in the natural. No, Hydras deny it. They're in place with the War Prism, but doing a great job denying scouting. And ShoWTimE, he's poked, he's prodded, but he's never really committed. He's always been, you know, very safe and defends first. So I don't know if he's going to really commit here, too. He doesn't have a Warp Prism. Oh, he does. Okay, so he might. He might, but there's a huge concave waiting for him. The Banelings have finally been morphed in. Broodlords are already on the way as well. Something that he has no idea about. I'm constantly confirming to make sure, but no, he really has no idea. The good news is, by attacking first, I guess, he might still be able to retreat and thus buy time. But that is his first sight on the Broodlords, and he's just going to be like, okay, later. Please don't attack me. Bye. He did already... Yeah, he already started his fleet beacon. Actually, I started another one. There we go. He's gotta buy time. Isn't gonna do too much. Storms are still gonna scare away the ground army. Broodlords, especially in high numbers, do have some decent damage, and they can take out the High Templars, is what I'm mostly looking at. But they're still a little vulnerable. And Storm and Archons can still help deal with them with a splash. So he actually gets underneath one, gets it. Storm's still available and blanketing the Baneling Hydra army. The Broodlords are just not helping as much as you would think so. There's still 3 of them left over. Only 1 Archon and a couple of sentries for anti-air, but he took out most of the ground army. High Templars are finally dying to the Broodlings, and War Prism is cleaned up. Well, the Zealots that are made from it is cleaned up anyways. First Tempest is on the way. This is such a small army. I mean, he pushed forward a little bit, but it's not like he's doing a lot of damage. It's the push that thought it could, but it really can't. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. That's a lot of Lings and Banelings. A couple Stalkers trying to help out here. 1 or 2 more Storms left over. Does blanket those Lings. The Voidry from earlier comes forward to take out the Broodlord. This was nicely done. That was a big surprise. He wasn't anticipating Broodlords, or at least didn't think they'd already be done by the time he got there. And he dealt with that as calmly as possible. Only lost 9 probes. There's a lot of Zealots still being warped in on the right side. I guess there's a Warp Prism over here. There is. So, double Warp Prism once again. Tempests have finally come out. Yeah, 2 of them. 3rd one's on the way. Gold base being taken. Everything is looking quite good for ShoWTimE. It's kind of funny to see Serral have such trouble against ShoWTimE, you know, being 3-0'd here almost. When he had such good games against Neeb. Neeb did just beat ShoWTimE in a PvP. Banelings ended up getting through though, and he got a lot of High Templars, so no more Storms left over. Tempest trying to get to the high ground. They can't be attacked, and they would just be able to rain from above. Serral is only on basic units, but there's not a lot of fodder left for ShoWTimE, just as Immortals. Finally, some Archons coming in. Tempest still alive and unable to be killed as the last couple of Hydras go away. I didn't realize Serral had gotten to +3 weapons once again. Now the Carapace upgrade. But that gold base could have been canceled. Instead, it was avoided. Trying to just tear down the army. Didn't quite work. It feels like Serral is getting pretty desperate. I mean, maybe take care of the ground army, but what about those Tempests? 5 Tempests now, and a couple of Mortals, rather. Finally, the Hyde is going on top of one of them. He's microing them back. He needs charge lot warp-ins, but he's used them offensively, and that might have been a huge mistake. Archons are finally being warped in, too. But these charge lots,
all gonna go down.
They need something to do. They need to actually get back here and help out. He's going to lose the gold base, and he just lost his army supply lead.
Yo, what's interesting about this, though, is Serral did all this without ranged weapon upgrades.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, his Lings have been the most powerful thing, and they've mostly been washed off by the Storms, but once those Storms weren't available, that's where the Lings really started to shine, I guess. He's trying to get them back, too. Like, he just... Every time he tried to make more High Templars and wait for the energy, Banelings have rolled in, or he's just felt the necessity to make them into Archons in a hurry. So a little bit of room to breathe. He still has a 4th base mining, still has a 3rd base mining. The 4th base going down isn't devastating, but the fact that he lost so much army is what's pretty bad.
I really like the stasis traps. It's going to catch a lot of these Lings if he's not paying attention.
Yeah. Nicely done. Even more going down.
God.
Revelation, too.
That's all the Lings. Like, literally all the Lings. And he's got no buffer for the Hydras now.
He's got 2 Lings coming in now. There are 4 Storms available. 4 Storms and 7 years ago. Single Zealot gonna try and do what it can, but it's up against +3 Lings. It's actually not gonna have a too decent of a time. But oh lordy, the Storms! That's all types of clumped up. ShoWTimE.
Really
tries to get a base up here, but the Lings are on top of it, and Serral suddenly swings this back. Not with Broodlords, but just with Concaves and heavily upgraded Lings and denial of economy.
I really like the timing of that storm with the stasis trap. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was. It's going to take a little bit of time for it to recede, but it is faster in Legacy of the Void. Zealots still littered around everywhere. Warp Prism still available for the Warp Banes, but ShoWTimE just can't, you know, willy-nilly Warp Bane Zealots. Like, the last time he did, he missed some crucial elements to his ground army and ended up losing all of his Tempest that he had taken so long to build up. Well, it might be a smaller army for ShoWTimE. It is so powerful with all the storms. Unfortunately, ShoWTimE never got up to +3 weapons, so those Lings really have had a decent shots at dealing with the Zealots by themselves. ShoWTimE needs to secure a 4th base, or 5th rather, I think, before he really can move out. He wants to clear up more creep spread. Whoopsie. He wants to clear up more creep spread, but it just is always like, maybe I shouldn't be going that far forward.
The Banelings almost get to the Templar. The storms were super dicey.
No cancel. It's too big of a concave. The storms couldn't be as good as they needed to be.
This is really weird to look at. I mean, ShoWTimE had a lead for so long, but you know what? Like, the bases aside, he hasn't continued to upgrade or teching or anything. He's been sitting on +2 for the longest time, relying on storms.
Mm-hmm. Ultras. Interesting. The Immortals have stood strong enough. I'm not sure if that's going to be quite devastating, but another unit that could potentially reach back to the High Templars. I like this base better than the top left or the gold, but oh no, the Banelings on top of the storms, and I think that might just be it. There's too many Hydras. Zealots are coming in now. It feels like there's never been any charge lots when they really were necessary, and okay.
Well, now that the thing is that's going to make these charge lots so much better, well, was, past tense, was the fact that Hydras had no upgrades, but Serral's moved past that, and he's got Ultra Spawn now.
Mm-hmm. Looks like the mass amount of Zealots that were waiting over here were just destroyed by a couple of Banelings and a pretty large force of Lings. ShoWTimE. I mean, he might finally get this base up in mining, and 52 probes is not too bad.
He needs to. Yeah,
he needs to, but it's the supply overall. It's looking quite grim. If he was at 150, I'd still have a lot of hope, but just barely below it. And with Ultras coming in now, only a couple more storms available and a huge concave. He's trying to save the charge lots until all the Banelings are gone, but they're not being used until bam, right there. GG.
So they all jumped on a grenade together.
Yeah, they did. Well, Serral wasn't willing to go down yet. I mean, I really thought after his Broodlords failed, he would be a down and outs, but tier 2 units was the way to go. That's game number 4 coming up. Serral not willing to tap out yet. Gonna go to a break while it's all set up. It's game number 4 in this best of 5 in the losers bracket. And the bottom right still up 2. Oh, it is the Red Protoss ShoWTimE.
And I hope this is for what I think it's going to be. His opponent at the top left, going to be the blue Zerg player, Serral.
Yeah, but you know what? ShoWTimE has been very consistent in every single versus Zerg we've seen, whether it's versus Bly, or Snoot, or Serral. He's been going for the Probe Scout every time. So it's not like this is supposed to be a surprise, but it might just be able to provide that decent amount of pressure to at least throw ShoWTimE off. I can't imagine Serral was looking for much more, to be honest, because I'm pretty sure he's seen a Probe Scout every time.
Well, I was talking about that pool, but if these Lings get across the map and they get on that pine line, like, it's so important that ShoWTimE scouted the order here, right? Like the Probe Scout you just talked about, saw the hatchery late, so he knows his pool first. Then he has to guess, was this like a really early pool or was this like a decently timed pool? So this probe's going to not just have peeked up to the main, but now sees those Lings. And this puts big priority on ShoWTimE not taking that Nexus right away. If that Nexus was going down right now, it's game over.
It'd be very difficult to hold, that's for sure. I mean, he had such advanced notice of the Probe Scout. He really had a lot of time to decide exactly how he wanted to deal with this. running out of zealots, making sure that pylon doesn't go down. The pylon goes down, and it's game. And it's a pretty lame game, but it is. So he's going to pre-pull the probes even to make sure it's not under threat. I mean, he knows there's not a gas. He knows, like, you know, there can't be that many lings that are going to reinforce this. 2 at a time is not that bad. And as soon as he gets a second zealot and an adept, it should be totally manageable. So he throws down that nexus because he knows he can protect it. Pylon, if it did go down, that would cost most of the lings anyway, so it wouldn't be too much of a problem. Very annoying to chase these lings all the way around. Loses a probe finally. Loses 2 probes finally. Front base. The front looks pretty well protected. Zealot left alone though. 4 lings take out a zealot properly microed. 5 lings barely injured take it out too. Okay.
Yeah, this is far from that perfect hold that you got to see out of Hero, but it's still not bad.
Oh, it's not bad at all. I'm not sure Serral's too happy with how that went, really. Sure, he got a delay on the Nexus, but he didn't really do too much more. Just 2 probes went down and a zealot. So, yeah, I don't know. Thank you to Riamar, though. This is the second time, I believe, that he has donated 1,000 bits. But we didn't catch the last time.
Bits. Everybody.
Nice. Exactly. Just checking to see if we missed anything else. Nope, doesn't look like it. The Saber Claw? I don't remember shouting that out, but thank you for the new sub. As well as Erbsinkopf. That kind of sounds a little familiar, but I don't know.
I'm sorry, did you just say words? I thought I was the one that was dead.
Yeah, I don't know if I should have that one out yet. Adepts fake a shade into the main base, but are really going for the natural, and this is a pretty brutal move against anyone who goes for an early pull. The Adepts can definitely try and counterattack. I mean, it's a bit of a risk, because what if they get surrounded in the middle of the map and they don't do anything at all? But you force out lings, you might get drones, and 4 drones, a lot of lings being produced, and the Adepts live, that was really effective. The pre-Chrono Boost looks awkward. Or it's a fake. Can't tell if I'm making it or not. The Chrono Boost is hiding it. Oh, it's actually fake.
I mean,
holy shit.
The lights on the building would be flashing, so...
Well, my point was that if you Chrono Boost, it might be harder to tell. But I was joking. But it is
running water.
It is kind of a fake, though. So, like, you know, it might have been a pre-Chrono Boost, one that you're preparing to start the Resident Glaives, because a Dark Shrine does go down. I mean, you might get Resident Glaives after, of course, but it could have been a cool fake. The Dark Shrine is scouted, though. It's, you know, on the front lines. The Lings saw it. So it really just looks very awkward. Takes away the Chrono.
No, gets the base down. Zelt did a bit. Not that it would have had a big role for a while anyways, but yo, ShoWTimE has officially changed things up, man. Dark Shrine, Warp Prism, Archon drops, like, this is something I was hoping to see out of him, but we hadn't seen, I think, this entire tournament out of him.
Yeah. I don't think so. A lot of, like, as we saw in the past 3 games, they've been going for the very, very similar builds every single time. And I think that held true for the last couple of PvZs. So, I know he can do a Dark Shrine build. Anyone can. Every Protoss can. But what type is he going to go for? He's got 4 gateways, so instantly warping in 4 DTs. Only 1 warp prism? Yeah, that's an observer. They warp in, and Serral, did he not realize that was a Dark Shrine? He definitely scouted it, but maybe he thought that was a pylon, because he has no spore crawlers. And the lair is only just finishing in like 20 seconds. So that has to be canceled, and then there's a bit of time to do damage. And ShoWTimE's gonna risk... He's gonna risk it. He sees the spore crawler build and gets the queen instantly. He should be ready to leave, though. Yeah. You can tango with roaches, they do so much damage, but you can't stick around for too long. Lings try and do something, but they were probably better off trying to do something at the 3rd base. Oh, there's no Overseer still. The 3rd base has to be canceled again. This is a nice game for ShoWTimE. Defending the early pool, getting damage done with the Adepts, getting damage done with the Dark Shrine. Serral probably not feeling too hot about his chances here now, but still holding okay. Is going to try and go for a pretty fast Spire follow-up, considering that he is still on 2 bases. Warprism still has the DTs? Okay, they're gonna turn into Archons. I wouldn't have minded if they tried attacking again. You know, you find the Spore Crawler without any defenses, and it's still worth having the DTs. But Archons can't be canceled, so unfortunately loses one. It might be in ShoWTimE's interest to go for 2 more DTs. And he might just let the 1 Archon do its job. Thank you to Cyberfusion for the 4-month resub. Thanks for all the StarCraft 2 passion. Keep up the awesome work.
Yay!
Yay! Thanks for your input.
I'm trying to help, man. I can't. So I'm
okay.
solo casting at this point. No one's disillusioned by this.
Once again with Charge, just straight up the Charge. I think 1 game he got Blink, if I'm not mistaken, but like 1 game. So, and that was the games versus Bly. So never even mind. Charge, Templar Archives. Baneling Nest for Serral, but he's definitely changed up his game. Thank you very much to Riamar, who donates $50 and says hi. It's much appreciated, and we'll go to the Matcherino fundraiser for the mega tournaments. And donations are still going there as of right now. If you want to donate to Home Story Cup, you have to go over to Take's channel and donate via their link, and that's how you donate there. But we appreciate.
We love and appreciate you, Riamar.
Really do, Riamar. Really do.
I was talking about otters earlier, dude. Where were you? Some people got mad at me for talking about otters and trash pandas.
I didn't get mad at you. I just said they were talking a lot about trash pandas and otters and furry creatures.
Raccoons.
No. Pops a lot of Guardian Shields. That seemed excessive.
That was a "you're not going to touch me" amount of Guardian Shields. Can't force field the air, so you just make as many Guardian Shields as you can. Imagine
if that was the mechanism for sentries, like a bird that fluffs up when it's has to intimidate something, right?
What if that's stacked? What if Guardian Shield's stacked?
Well, that's another what if question. I prefer mine because it'd be like a peacock that's like flowing its feathers. It's like boom. I'm scary. I don't tickle things. Rawr.
What?
That's what the sentry would be like when it pops Guardian Shields if it was reaction.
But how are peacocks known for tickling things? Will they come up and peck you gently on the side? Like, buck, 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 buck.
No, you're such a robot right now. But no. Sentries are known for tickling things. So they're like saying like, I do more damage than I really do. Because otherwise they really just tickle.
Feather.
Sure. And I'm not even sure if peacocks do it when they're threatened. I know they do it when they're mating, but I think it's both. We're just getting all types of things correct on this cast. Mutas are doing a decent job catching the mineral probe, the mineral line transfer of probes. So 8 go down and the Mutas still live. ShoWTimE's not really bothering to respond to them because unlike Bly, most Zergs just skate 8 to 10, and that's something that you can deal with not even Blink. I don't even think he really has to go for Blink, but there's always that chance. But the point is he's not bothering to go for like double Stargate, so. And you would need double Stargate if they're really going to go into like 20, 30, 40 mutas. Unless you want to play a very dangerous, difficult game. And get a Foonly for the 31-month resub. No message. Oh, you poor sentry. Quick! Peacock it! Okay, it didn't work.
Actually, you keep saying peacocking. I'm thinking of those little lizards that would like frill up their necks, right?
Yeah, don't lizards still do that? But I mean, I'm thinking about the dinosaurs. Oh, that one hole!
That one hole was the only hole he needed to find. Ace Lude. So many banelings still stand, and Serral's got a really nice force of units, but this is coming up against Archons and Immortals, right? Like, this isn't a bunch of charge lots. Speaking of charge lots, that's Adepts and charge lots. Teamwork.
Yeah, both. Warprism is cleaned up as it should be by the mutas, but the damage has already been done. Lings had to be pulled back, a couple of drones went down, spawning pool is going to go down, and there's still a lot of emphasis on Lings. He got +2 for them after all, and he's even been getting +3 in the other games for them. Unfortunately, he's going to have a little bit of a blip in that, and that's going to maybe affect his bank, because he can't make the things that he wanted. He's going to start banking a lot and banking the larva. Or just put it all in the banelings, either way. Proper defense is set up at the 4th base. Like I said, I don't think Blink was like totally a necessity, but he did bother getting it. He's not getting shield upgrades, not bothering with +3 so much. Thank you to Destress81 for the Twitch Prime. Yay.
I wonder if my claps would go robot-y if I clapped enough.
You can keep trying. Every time something happens. Zealot's gonna top of a freshly put down 5th base. You know, Storm, I think I said charge Storm, but he never...
Corsair mic time.
Oh, Jesus. No. God. Turn it off. It's just a bad mic. It wasn't robot-y.
Is it too loud?
It was a little bit. Now it's fine. Well, it was for me. I think the stream's getting some different outputs.
Whatever. It's not robot-y. So I can at least talk.
No, but I feel like chat's gonna have even more problems. We'll see. But I was talking about how Storm, I thought it was already on the way, but he did delay it with everything else that had gone on, with the mutas attacking into him, and just didn't feel like he really had to get it. And speaking of mutas, they run over a bunch of Archons, so only one survives. He's the chosen one. Hive on the way, +1 missile attack. You know, he's been really avoiding missile attack upgrades. They get a Reamar for Riffy Poo. As the Banelings roll in and destroy all the Stalkers, they still can't really take out all the Archons. Immortals Bears are popped, but most of Serral's army is gone. More Banelings morph to the top side, but there's still a lot of healthy Archons. The Immortals, not so much. All the Bears have been popped, like I said, so they need to be very careful. But the Archons, great at soaking up those Banelings, still live. Charge out reinforcements come in now that all the Banelings are gone. Charge out at the 4th base as well, and Serral, he's taking a lot of damage. I don't know, man.
From multiple fronts, no less. I mean, this is tough. On top of all of this, though, like, he is still trying to upgrade. Like, plus ranged is almost finished up. But there's no plethora of Hydralisks and Queens waiting to take advantage of those upgrades.
Yeah. Well, the supplies stay even, but now ShoWTimE, you know, still with a couple of Immortals, a couple of Archons, and now getting 4 Storms. Single Muta has high hopes. It has dreams.
Oh. So, real quick, guys, I was trying to man up the rest of the cast, but we also knew 8 hours ago I was going to have to disappear at some point. Now's that time anyway, so I love you all. Goodbye.
Bye. Rifkin has a package being delivered. That sounded like I was lying, but it's actually the truth. I wasn't being weird or anything. At least to put down the storms before you die, High Templars. One even gets turned into an Archon. And that was actually really great with the storms. If Serral had just split his Banelings, that would have been absolutely fantastically played by him, but he didn't, so it's a game over. GG, ShoWTimE takes a 3-1. And we'll advance on to the losers semis, I think is what it's called. Yeah, maybe. The next series that's going to be played, though, is going to be Gumiho versus Neeb in the winners finals. But I can't. It was already hard enough, even when Rifkin was a little bit healthier in co-casting. So we said this would be our last series, and it is. So we're going to host Wardy after. Hopefully he still has a little bit of energy in him. And yeah, we'll see you guys in a bit. So I'm just going to do the end of stream shoutouts. Still a couple more series to go. If you guys want to watch, either go to Wardy's channel or go to Take's channel or any of the foreign language channels. And if you want to donate to Home Story Cup, then you got to go to Take and use their donation down below. It's all to fund a new Home Story Cup, which would be really, really awesome. So go do that. Please follow the channel down below. Thank you to everyone who subbed and resubbed and donated and bit donated today. It was really awesome to see your support. Sorry that we have to leave before the casts, before the tournament's really done, but at least you still have another English cast. Look at the links down below for Corsair Gear. It's awesome stuff. It's lasted this entire time without having to be charged, so pretty top quality. And any links you use down below will help us. Look at the Amazon links down below as well. That will personally help me. Follow me on Twitter at CG Gaming, on Twitch at ZombieGrub, and on YouTube ZombieGrub, and Patreon also ZombieGrub. Lots of ZombieGrubs everywhere. And that's gonna be it. Apparently we aren't casting tomorrow, but I still have been casting every day this week in a lot of early casts and a lot of solo casts. And Rifkin has been sick, and I feel sick. I got this canker sore on my cheek, and I don't want it anymore. So you'll deal with it. You'll get over it. And we'll see you guys again for the Alima League Tuesday morning, bright and early once again. But that's our next cast. Thank you guys. Gonna end with a break and then host Wardy. Bye-bye.